Oh, hi people, you would know if you watched my other videos that I've done a manual conversion on this car, so it's gone from a 4-speed auto to a manual. I've still got the automatic dash in it, so the automatic dash has the park, reverse, neutral drive, low, second, third lights on it. So I'm going to do a little tutorial on changing the insert there, so it doesn't quite look like it was an auto car once upon a time. So you can get a full blanker from a manual dashboard. I've got that, but I'm going to do a little bit different. So in any case, first up, need to pull the cluster out. So I'm going to go and do that right away. Yeah. So just drop the steering wheel down. Now there's 2 screws in the front bezel. So one under there, one under there. They need to come out, and then that basically comes out. There's a couple of plugs that need to be taken off the back there. So let's go ahead and do that. That's the first step. So away we go. That's probably about it. So that should just come down. Yep, that screws out. And one's hit the floor. And got them both. So make sure we don't lose those. So I'll put them into there. Okay, so now that bezel can come out. It basically pulls out of there. There we go. Just a little bit of pressure. If you're getting a screwdriver in there to do it, you must be doing it wrong. So just got to pull on in that side there, and the same corresponding part of the side. So that there can come out, and it's got 2 plugs on the back. So my big head's in the way there. Just got to squeeze the little tab down there, and you can get those plugs out. So one's for the dimmer, and one's for your computer, your trip computer. So that's the bezel out. So fairly simply comes out there. See the little retaining clips that hold that in. Okay, so once that's out, there are down here there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws need to be pulled out to get the cluster out. There are some other screws you can see, but they're holding the cluster together. So it's just the 4 ones down in there. Magnetic screwdriver would help a fair bit. I haven't disconnected my battery, and I don't believe that would be a problem. So I could just change the whole cluster over from a manual cluster, but my manual cluster's got 180,000 kilometers on it. This one's got 274 on it. One, I don't want to do something that, well, you're not supposed to do. And 2, I actually like my kilometers. I want to keep them up there and see how far I can get this car. Okay, so that's about ready to come out. She just pulls out. There is another cable that needs disconnecting. I'm just going to get that screws out there so I don't lose them. Okay, just put them on the floor there. And there is a cable there that needs to come out. So once again, it's got a little tab that squeezes, and out it comes. Okay, cluster's out. That's pretty easy. Okay, so the next step is will be to pull the clear panel off, then the blackout off, and we'll change the little cover down the middle there. Okay, so I've got the 2 clusters here. The one that came out of my car, it's 274,000, and it's got the, you can see the lights on it there. I'll just bring that up to the camera so we can see that it's got the automatic selector indicator lights there, and then we've got a manual cluster there that's just got a blank out there. So I'm going to leave the blank out in this one. I've got a blank that I've taken out of it wasn't a blank, that I've taken out of a KE Verada, and I've actually masked out the R, and I've painted it black, flat black, because in actual fact, when you put the car into reverse, the reverse light comes on because of the way I've wired the gearbox. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's get cracking on it. Righto. So there are 2 screws. So in the top of it here, there's 2 screws there to get the clear bezel, the cover off. And from there, there's just little lock tabs all the way around that hold that into place. So just need to push those down and just pop those out fairly carefully. 2 at the top, and there's 4 across the bottom there. Okay, So just pop those out. Be careful with it, don't want to break it. There you go, so that's out. You don't want to get your fingers on that because you get it clean dirty on the inside there. You're going to have to clean it up. Let's put that out of the way. So there's the black cluster there, just the inside of it there. There's no screws on that. Once again, it's just the tabs that hold that on, and that's about it. Okay, so I'm going to just release those two tabs at the top. I might need to get a screwdriver yet, so we'll just see where they go. By hand, there's one, and there's the other, so that's released there. Go underneath, do the same. There's three under there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and there's the cluster apart. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Alright, so now we just need to pull out that little cover. I'm just going to pull that right out. And so there's the original there. And there's the one that's going to go into it. So this one's out of my left hand there is out of a 97 Verada, and that one's out of my 02 Magna. So I'm just going to drop that one back in. I could have done a better paint job, but I rushed it. It was wet weather, cold, and the paint didn't want to settle right. So just going to push that back on. Try not to get my fingerprints all over it. And that's in place there. Just making sure it's fully in place. Okay. And put it back together again. Line up the slots. Pop that in. Pop that in. There you go. Okay, so I've got the cover on. Need to put the clear case back on. Don't get your fingerprints in there. Line the tabs back up. Make sure you get your little odometer reset thing there back into place. Okay, that's back together there. Screws back in. So there we go, that cluster's back together again. Good time to give it a bit of a clean. I've got a towel here. Okay. I'll put that back, there we go. Okay, time to put it back in, which is practically the reverse of taken out. So you want to take notice that there is these slots in the back of the dash here where the contacts go into, and they correspond with some sockets in the back of the dash bit there, and you've got to connect your cables back up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's get that plug in. Okay, make sure it positively clicks in. Keep the cable out of the way as it goes back into place. And that's it, that's seated in home, ready to be screwed in. So I'm going to do that now. This is where a magnet screwdriver would be good. I don't have one. Okay, so there's 4 screws to go in. And the best plan of attack there is to always get them in, get them started. Don't do them up tight until you've got all 4 seated in the correct place. I seem to have misplaced 2. There's another one. Haha. Typical. When I came back, I found it underneath on my seat. Okay, so I've got the other 3s in, so I can tighten them all up. Okay, so that's those screws in. Put the bezel back on. Don't forget to plug in your plugs that you've unplugged here. Okay, possibly clicking in. And the other one there. Positively clicking into place. Slide it back in. Get into those retainers there. And put the screws back in. So there's 2 of those at the top. And that's it. Job done. Let's check to make sure that it all works. And so all the lights coming on. And all the gauges are working. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good one.